and welcome to Art and Fashion. Today we are here with Stylianou.
Hello.
Stylianou is good.
Stylianou,
yeah. Okay. And he is an artist as well as the owner of an art studio. And what is the name of your art studio?
It's Studio E, or it's studioeartclass.com. You can find it on the website. And we're out of Miller Place. And yeah, basically we teach all ages. We have lots of classes for kids and birthday parties and ceramics and drawing and painting, adult classes, and really just want it to be like a creative hub where like everything kind of comes together and opportunities just come out of just meeting all these cool like creative people. We do a lot of different local festivals, Great South Bay Music Festival. We've been in the Rocky Point Parade and just always kind of building floats, and I'm involved in some of the local, like the North Shore Youth, I'm sorry, not North Shore, actually I have to edit that part out. Yeah, I'm sorry, North Shore Youth Council. And we'll get the kids involved, and we'll build like the different floats and things, and yeah, I don't know.
What types of classes do you have? You said you had ceramics, you do painting. What other types of curriculums do you work with?
Yeah, well, we kind of divide it by that. Like the drawing and painting, we have the different ages. So we have the really young guys, it's called Art Start. And we'll just have them like cutting and making different shapes and gluing and just kind of experimenting with lots of different pastels and materials. Then they get a little bit older. We have a class called Mixed Media and more kind of collage and drawing, and sometimes we'll incorporate still lives. I really like to kind of go with the feel of the class, the different students, what they're into. Especially as they get older, I'll try to give them more freedom. Like if they're really into comics, I'll bring out some different references or try to show, who inspired those guys, and try to put their, try to expand what they're doing and encourage, their strong points. And I mean, yeah. So we have that. Then, just the range. We have a lot of the different materials, oil paints and acrylics and watercolors. Really, I try to just provide everything that I can think of and encourage mixed media and just have it a place where students can experiment.
Are there figure drawing classes or anything at the class?
Yeah, we, I mean, Wednesday nights we've been running figure drawing and hopefully keep that going. We took a little bit of a break just with the, the winter and everything. But yeah, those are always great. And
do you ever do the classes where it's kind of like a girls' night out or something where you kind of create a uniform picture throughout the course of the evening, more as like a fun activity where somebody isn't looking to expand to be an artist but wants to create something that day? Oh, sure, yeah. All levels are welcome, and I just really want to emphasize the creativity of it. And we have our lady nights out, and usually on the first Fridays of the month, we'll start around 8 o'clock, 8 to 11, and it's geared so it can be very basic, where there's like a stencil and you just kind of follow the stencil and the steps, or you're free to change colors around, free paint, do whatever, also have just fun social get together with your friends and paint. And are the classes mostly during the days, the evenings, both? Mostly afternoons, but we have day classes. We have our adult classes like around 12 to 2 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Weekends, Saturdays are kids classes, and then birthday parties are usually, it's like Saturday afternoon, sometimes Sunday. Okay. And what is the web address for the studio? Studioeartclass.com. And even if you just type in Google Studio E Miller Place or something like that, it'll come up. Do you guys have a Facebook page? Yeah, Art Studio E. Okay. Facebook. And would you be able to find out more about the different classes and pictures and things like that on the website or on the Facebook? Oh, sure, yeah. And luckily my wife Michelle, she's like really good with social media. She's always posting things, and it's always... It's good, it's important. Stuff, yeah. Keeps everybody up to date with like what's going on currently. Oh yeah, I mean thank God she does it, because I wouldn't do it. I never find the time. Have any of your students that you've had within the group and within your classes, have you guys exhibited anywhere together? Have you had any leads towards future exhibits for the artists that you work with? Oh sure, yeah. I mean we're really happy and excited to be part of
local businesses. There's a nice partnership with Callie at Crazy Beans where we'll show work there regularly, and Rob at Toast in Port Jeff will have shows. We did a really fun show a couple times called The Playground Show, and it was drawings of our students, like the young kids would do little like drawings, and then different artists, like our friends, would do their recreations of the kids' work, and then we hung the work side by side.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
Invite the parents down, the kids get to see their work up there next to, adult artists, and kind of get inspired, and vice versa. I always feel inspired by the kids, like their imagination, the energy, it's really fun
something
to just
unfiltered where they don't have to unlearn something sometimes, also where they offer a fresh perspective.
Oh yeah,
on
totally.
seeing.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. Like I like being really flexible. Like I'll have a project, like a Stelianou for something basic kind of set up, and I'll just kind of go with them. And if I can see on their face right away, they're really like excited about it or not into it, and they'll, if they're not into it, then I'll have some kind of other option and kind of, well, what would you do? And then their work will always come up better than my first
initial idea, concept.
Yeah, my intention of what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it's nice when I can play like that and give them that freedom. Especially, nowadays it's like Common Core, and kids are so have to be rigid, and so at least we have a space where they can, do their own thing. And I think that's what I'm really happy to provide there also.
That's great. How long have you had the space for, and how long has it been around?
Well, this is about our third year as we're the third owners. Studio E is named after Eileen Baumeister, who was the first owner, and then there was Mike Jablonski, and then we are the current owner, and it's been at that location for about 20 years.
Wow.
So people, know where it is, and we always try to paint the windows and, make it really kind of fun and weird and unique, and you can see it from the road when you drive by.
Do the students paint the windows, or do you paint the windows?
Well, sometimes I do. I have interns too that work on the windows. That would be fun. I haven't had, maybe if we did like a workshop or something. I'm not against it. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have a big face of Bob Ross on the back wall, and that was a collaborative picture. We had like a grand opening party, and everyone started working on it, and I had kind of like a rough sketch of his face, and then everyone started painting into it. And it's cool to have him on the walls because, he just has those sayings, there's no mistakes, there's only happy accidents.
Yeah.
And whenever the kids are kind of getting down on themselves or erasing the same little line a million times, I'll kind of point to the big face over there and kind of quote him.
Aw. Your car, did you paint that, or was that also a collaborative effort?
Again, that was a collaboration, yeah. And that was one night in a garage with some Rust-Oleum oil paints, and my friend Eric Herniak and a bunch of people got together, and he has a side group, the Creative Vortex, and they've done a lot of collaborative local shows also. So that same kind of energy was just put into it, and no real theme, just I knew I wanted to write Studio E somewhere on it, and it just turned into
just went with it.
Yeah.
It turned into what it is now.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a work in progress, so whenever I have a afternoon here or there and it's nice out, I'll paint on it a little more, change things around.
Now, in addition to having the studio, you got into this because you yourself are an artist. Tell me a little bit more about your artwork.
Oh, sure. As long as I can remember, I was always drawing and painting. My mom always encouraged me and had art materials around, and she herself is an artist. And I stayed local, went to Suffolk for a couple of years, the Aaron campus, and went to Stony Brook, and just kept meeting people that also were, into art and kind of inspired by them. And out of Stony Brook, there was a gallery in Port Jefferson, 4222, and it was named after one of the rooms on the fourth floor of the Stelios Center. And out of that group, it was a bunch of friends, and we would, every month we'd have a different show. So there was this incentive to create new work and see what everyone else is doing and be part of the solo shows or group shows. I guess my work, it's I have a couple themes, and I just kind of switch around, whatever I'm really feeling or thinking. There's figurative work, and then there's also some different kind of landscape collage. a lot of times I'm inspired by just weird things I watch on YouTube or television, about current technology or science fiction, and that always kind of works its way into my stuff. Or some of my work I get kind of freaked out about, like where food is going, and that kind of works its way into my stuff.
It's a good thing to be freaked out about. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. And I also really like to grow my own food. I have a garden for a couple of years now at our house, and it always tastes better, and I know where it comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great if I could live off of that, but that's probably just like a small fraction of what I eat.
Yeah. What mediums do you like to work in? Mixed or
everything.
Special favorite?
I think everything, and just like our teacher Jeff, kind of encouraged mixed media, and everything has its own, strong and weak points, and I just like to have everything available. Canvas, panel, whatever the thing I'm painting on, and then just really whatever kind of suits the need. If it's
take advantage of the properties of the materials.
Yeah, that's exactly. You said it better than I was about to.
Well, I'm a student of Jeff's too. Where have you exhibited your work?
Well, the last I'm trying to think the order. At the Islip Art Museum, I was part of a mixed media show. Before that, over the summer, there was a show at the Old Parish Museum. It was called the Irrational Portrait Gallery Show. And the photographer Rick Wenner shot me and a bunch of other artists, and gave us a print about this big, like our face. And we were just asked to work into it. And then it was exhibited over the summer.
So you painted into the photograph?
Yeah, well, it was printed on canvas.
Okay.
And then stretched it onto a board, and that turned into a collage too, though I started, I looked at it for a long time, and actually it was up at the studio too, which was kind of funny. Just this like giant face of me, and it freaked out some kids. And like, who is that? First they would look at it and like, is that you? And like, why is that up there? And then I would, so I didn't know what to really do with it. I just ended up cutting it because it felt like too precious. Like I didn't know like how to paint into it. So I just started cutting parts and then kind of moving around the different parts of, I guess, my face, and made into a collage.
Oh, very cool.
And that was glued down, oil paints, and I think mostly oils. And it became, another theme is just kind of the local area, Rocky Point. There's this great beach by my house, and a lot of times I'll walk down there with my wife, Michelle, and we'll, just things we encounter. There'll be just like different, weird things that wash up on the shore, or, deer running up the hill, or, whatever. And that kind of makes its way into the artworks too. Or that big picture had some, the background was the beach at my house.
And do you have a website for your art?
Sure. If you find Stelios and MichelleArt.com. So it's, I don't know if I should spell it or...
Yeah.
Sure. S-T-E-L-Z, that's my old website, sorry. STELIOSandMICHELLEART.com.
Very cool. And is there a Facebook page for that as well?
Well, I have a Facebook page, but the website will just bring you to the artwork.
Bring you to everything.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Do you have any upcoming art shows that you're planning on being in?
Upcoming art shows? That's a good question. I'm looking forward to the Great South Bay Music Festival again. I've been working with Dan Cadrico and building, we're looking to maybe build a front entrance like we did last year, and the collaborative painting stuff will go again.
I missed it last year. I'll have to check it out. So you guys do more of like installation-based pieces, or do you guys bring work and sell it and have a setup there? How does that work, your involvement with the festival?
At that festival, it's more just about the crowd and having, providing a good time for them. With paints, we'll just supply, smocks and house paints, and there's 100 feet of canvas, and, the music's playing, and they're all just having a good time and painting, and we just kind of have big ladles, and we're just pouring buckets, from the buckets, different colors.
So it's really anybody who goes to the festival can paint?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
And I like that energy, too.
Yeah,
and we try to just bring that everywhere, whoever wants to can kind of pitch in and add things. So there's no destroying the work, or there's no, it's just kind of whatever you want to add to it, and it might get painted over, but it's like that moment where you get to be part of that creation. And some of it's sculptural, some of it's 2D on canvas. Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for different, you know, whether it's like a festival to paint to, like Breadstock, or there was a Garlic Festival we did last year.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll roll up in the Studio E, the art van, and it's full of all the materials, and then we'll set up wherever.
Very cool. That's really interesting. I'll have to definitely catch one of those.
Cool.
Now with Studio E, do you do these events as Studio E or more as Stelios, or it's kind of like all becoming the same?
Yeah, I guess more Studio E. And then if anyone asks, you know, I can show them my artwork, but it's more about just, yeah, the community thing.
The community.
Getting involved, yeah.
All right. Now, if somebody wanted to contact you in terms of classes, birthday parties, or your own personal artwork, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. Well, the website, Studio E Art, or my phone number for the studio is 744-4001.
Okay, great. And is there anything else you'd like to elaborate about possible future potential and where the studio might be going in the future, or where it's kind of come from?
Yeah, I just want to keep the momentum going, you know. I'm excited about where it's been and where it's headed, and just more, you know, just being a presence in the community, like art-wise, you know, and kind of filling that need where funds keep getting cut or clubs are going, and, you know, but then there's still a place to make art. And then, oh, I was going to say, I mean, as far as you know, plans, you know, I'd love to do more mural stuff and more, you know, maybe outdoor sides of buildings with groups of people and get involved that way.
And I always like to ask for the young artists out there, and like, you know, anywhere from like elementary through high school or even college that are trying to find their own direction. Do you have any like words of wisdom, inspiration, or motivational terms for young artists looking to kind of find careers, jobs, or their place in the arts?
Words of advice. I guess if you enjoy making art, just do it all the time. Keep, you know, like a sketchbook about that big that you can fit in your pockets, and anytime you have a moment or you're waiting somewhere, you know, instead of checking your emails and stuff, you know, draw the people around you or draw the scene, you know. While I was, you know, before the interview, I was kind of nervous, and I just started sketching these chairs that we're sitting in now, you know. It's just keep that, you know, just keep the momentum going, and that will always, you know, keep, you know, your skills sharper, and then keep your ideas sharp. You know, you have a sketchbook, you write down things quick so you don't forget them, and then when you have that time, you know, then you have the time to actually paint, then you can actually work into things and have all that past, you know, stuff to build upon, you know, during the day when, you know.
All right, great. Yeah, no, that's all wonderful, because everybody, again, is lost in their phones nowadays, and
or at least have an app where you can draw on your phone or something. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And Jeff always encouraged to have a sketchbook and constantly be drawing and sharpening that. And of course, whatever you do in practice is going to become better. So I think that's really great. And career-wise, like, you know, as we were saying before, we kind of did this interview. A lot of things do tend to like fall into place, but some things won't fall into place if you're not also like working towards it either. So it's important to keep kind of both going.
Yeah, it'll fall into place, but you can't be passive about it. It's like you've got to just like be on that course, and then it, you know, the opportunities come up.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We're here with Stylianou from Studio E, and thanks for coming on and explaining a little bit to us. And thanks again for tuning into the Daily Blue.
Bye.